privacy of networks. So the project manager help the team that will do the hands-on, whether it's deployment or upgrades. Web developers. So this is part of what we call our S&A practice, our software and application practice. We are seeing huge demand for a variety of web developers. In this case, this is a front-end developer working with React framework. PHP is also something that we're seeing with many of our front-end development positions. We're seeing JavaScript coupled with either React, Vue, sometimes even Angular 2, and then Node on the back end. So web development needs are definitely high in demand, especially as we see companies increase their web presence to reach their customers because some of the storefronts are no longer open. Huge demand in this area. Great. I will share my email address in the chat should anyone have questions about the types of opportunities that we have if they don't get a chance to connect with me during the latter part of the forum. But that's kind of a quick rundown on Robert Half and some of the types of opportunities that we have available.
Thank you, Sally. That is excellent. Just a quick question from me to you. Do you have any really entry level people who just got a certification in, let's say, CompTIA or Cisco, and they just want to get that first break?
I have one immediate position that I'm working on with a school district in the St. Paul area. It's a shorter project, helping with iPad. Really, I guess in part it's iPad sanitation and organization of inventory and equipment management with the iPads. And then we have an upcoming project for entry-level support analysts for a client of ours in Eden Prairie.
Thank you. You and I will need to talk offline.
Sounds
and all
good.
of our people that are watching, if you've got your certifications, here's your opportunity for an opportunity, right? Somebody has to at least take that first initial saying, you know what, you're brand new, you're wet behind the ears, but we're going to bring you in and get you groomed. So it looks like you've got a couple opportunities there for that. So thank you, Sally. We'll see you in a bit. See that? It's real, people. It's real. Here is your opportunity. And as we said, I think the theme today is hope. Hope. There is hope. And there is more hope. I've got right now with us Kurt Dibdahl. He is the operations manager, and Rebecca Gall. She is the HR business partner for O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Now, many of us are aware of O'Reilly's. You probably went there for your automotive needs. I know I have. So we have got representation today from them. They've got lots of jobs available. They will be joining us today, both Kurt and Rebecca, by phone today. Good morning, Kurt and Rebecca.
Good morning. Good morning, all.
Good to have you with us. So O'Reilly, what a popular place. You're all over the place, aren't you?
We absolutely are. It's a good time to get in with the company. We are ever expanding.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm going to let both of you present. We've got your slides up here, so we've got your title slide right now, and so I will let you take it away. We'll see you in a bit.
All right, I'll kick it off. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm sure a lot of you are well aware of O'Reilly Auto Parts and our stores, but how are those stores serviced? That is us. Our distribution center located here in Brooklyn Park is hiring. There's a difference between stores and distribution. We got to service our stores. It's all about customer service. You go to that store, they don't have what you need, but our huge facility can service you and get you that part. Auto parts are auto parts. Let's just be honest. But it's the service and your experience when you walk into our stores. How quick, if they don't have it, how quickly can you get that part? That's what sets us apart from our competition, is moving the inventory. How fast can we get what you need to your door? And that's what sets us apart. Our distribution center is hiring, located here in Brooklyn Park. A little background on us. A little outdated, but celebrating over 50 years. We're actually at 63 years. Our first year in service is 1957, based out of Springfield, Missouri. Currently have over 5,600 stores nationwide and 28 distribution centers around the country. Cool little fact, we actually just went international this past year, so that's a new one. We acquired a small auto parts chain in Mexico, so we are continuing to expand. During this pandemic, unfortunately, a lot of companies went under or downsized. O'Reilly did the absolute opposite. We blew up. We have so many sales and so much work, we just need people in the door to help facilitate that. And that's where you can come in and be a part of a winning team. We're highlighted by, next slide please, I'm sorry. The O'Reilly culture, highlighted by the management-based sense of care. Although we are a large company continuing to grow, we still have a small, like a mom and pop type feel. Some of the O'Reilly family that carry that last name are still involved in our business, either on the board. So you actually see them at meetings and facilities. They're still involved in our operation. Characterized by a strong work ethic, high level of accountability, and clearly defined values. That is something we live by, is our culture values. We are committed to outstanding customer service. That is what sets us apart. Like I said earlier, auto parts are auto parts, but it's your service when you walk into our store that sets us apart. Out of our facility here in Brooklyn Park, we service about 225 stores out of our facility. So every store you see in Minnesota, most of North and South Dakota, most of Wisconsin, and even Michigan, all those stores get their parts right here and right out of Brooklyn Park. So if you want to be part of a world-class distribution network, we have those opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, a lot of entry-level positions, either material handling, reach truck, driving reach truck, and order pickers and driving equipment, which we do all the certifications here. So you don't need no prior experience is necessary. We can do that all here. Also driving DOT trucks and delivery specialists. If this is something that you would like, we would gladly and love to meet you. Our next slide right there is our O'Reilly culture, some of our culture values we live by. If you can do that, if you can live by those, you'll be very successful in our team. Speaking of that, if you're also looking to grow within a company, O'Reilly has a huge promote within philosophy. I am an example of that. Most of our upper management, including our vice presidents, and CEO, all started either working in our distribution center, stocking the shelves, or driving for our stores. And now they're leading the pack. So I'll turn it over to Rebecca from here.
Thank you, Kurt. So you can go to the next slide. So I just want to talk about some team member benefits that we have. Really, really great work environment, first of all. I think that's really important, and we really do live by those O'Reilly culture values. But in addition to that, we also have some really great benefits. So we do have a 401k with company match. We have paid holidays, vacation, sick time, personal time. We have lots of recognition awards, life insurance, medical, dental, vision, all sorts of different benefits. Obviously, you guys can read through those, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them. Next slide. All right, so open positions. We do have quite a few openings, mostly full-time positions, but we do have some part-time. So our full-time positions right now are working 40 hours plus overtime. We're working anywhere from 10 to 12-hour days, but basically until we're done. So we're definitely not afraid of overtime. We love working long weeks right now. That just speaks to how truly busy we are. But for part-time positions, we do have a few openings, so working 29 hours or less. And we're also hiring for all shifts, so anywhere from a 11:30 start time a.m. to a 12:30 a.m. start time to a 7 a.m. start time. All sorts of different shifts, all sorts of different positions. You do have to be 18 years or older to work here at our facility. And then our offers are conditional upon successful completion of a drug screen and background check. Next slide. So I did post in our comments on our Zoom just a link to apply, but you can also apply if you just take your smartphone and open the camera and then hover it over this QR code, and then a link will show up right to the job application. It's really easy to go through, should only take you like 5 minutes. But basically every application that we get, we at least call you, ask you what your history looks like. We'll do a phone screen with everyone, and then we go from there. So like Kurt mentioned, a lot of our positions are full-time or part-time material handler positions. So that could be anything from forklift operating to order picking. We do have a few driving positions, not only like DOT, but we also have just regular driving positions where you just need your driver's license. Next slide. Any questions from anyone? I think we're taking at the end, so thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Stay on. I want to ask you some questions. Actually, I do. Kurt, you had mentioned about the training component regarding the driving. Are you saying that you will train like forklift operating and also like CDL?
Forklift operating, we absolutely do. We'll train here on site. We do have a program. Once you got to have 1 year experience with the company, and we'll actually send you away to driving school, and we will pay for that. And the requirements is obviously within good standing with the company, and then upon completing and receiving your CDL, driving for the company for 2 years after that.
That's amazing.
I was actually wondering something also.
That's amazing. And you will be able to get this training, and also you're getting paid because you're working there. So you're getting paid while you're trained.
Absolutely.
Tell me, either Kurt or Rebecca, what is the average starting wage for some of these jobs?
It really depends on the position. It really ranges, I guess. If we're looking at, I would say at a very minimum, $11.25. Very, very minimum.
Very minimum.
Obviously, that goes up with, yeah, that goes up with experience, department. It really ranges. Some of our positions, starting pay is, upwards of 15. So I can't give a good answer on that because it all depends on the position.
Yeah, so most of our need is in our material handler and equipment operating positions, which is right now at 15.25 starting pay.
Okay. The nice part about that is that I'm hearing you say is that, yeah, you may be at 15.25 or whatever, but time and a half is going to jump in. So you're making way more than that if you're working overtime.
Absolutely.
And overtime is in abundance, it sounds like, as well.
Oh, it's in abundance, and we would love to share the wealth, that is for sure.
Okay, so everybody think about that. If you're starting off at 15.25, let's say, or even 11 and some change, and you do time and a half, that's how much you're making for all those overtime hours, and it sounds like it's very available for you. So thank you, Kurt and Rebecca, for this wonderful positive news of you hiring a lot of positions, and you're even willing to train people in forklift and CDL opportunities as well for those that want to go on that part of that. So we will allow our audience to ask some questions later on when we bring you back for our final panel discussion. Thank you again. Our next presenter, thank you. Our next presenter is Amelia Walicki, and she is the Talent Acquisition Specialist for Mississippi Market. What a neat place to shop. I love going there. It's a wonderful place. You've got some job opportunities. Before I let you go and start presenting, Amelia, I want to know, are you all going to come over on my side of the river, or are you all just going to stay in St. Paul?
Oh, I love that you love us. That's amazing. I love us, obviously, as well. And we're very pleased to be here today. We are St. Paul focused. So
Okay.
we are likely, if there's future growth, it's going to be in St. Paul.
Okay. Well,
We have,
it's not far. It's just right across the river.
we're a quick jaunt, very
Yes.
accessible.
Yes, you.
So
Well, I'll let you tell us all the amazing things for those who have never heard of Mississippi Market of what you have available.
thank you. And thank you everybody for being here today and having us. We're very pleased to be here. So I am here from Mississippi Market, Natural Foods Co-op. We are a local grocery store, but we're a co-op, so we are member owned. If we can go to the next slide, please. There's just a little bit of information I wanted to share with you all about us because not everyone is familiar with what a co-op is. We've been around for quite some time now. We have an emphasis on high quality, organic, local and sustainably raised foods. We work a lot with local farmers, vendors, producers, and cooperative is member owned. So people buy membership into the co-op and there are benefits with that. But you don't have to have a membership to shop with us or to work with us. And I think that's a misconception that's out there. We welcome everyone at the co-op. We have 3 different stores, all within the St. Paul boundaries, and we're owned by over 18,000 community members. Next slide, please. So we have 3 locations. These are views of the outside of our 3 stores. So we have a store off of Selby and Dale in St. Paul. We have one off of West 7th Street. And then our newest location, which isn't that new anymore, was opened in September of 2015, would be over on the east side of St. Paul, really close to Metro State, which is off of East 7th Street. One of the core values of Mississippi Market is diversity, equity, and inclusion. We support everyone's unique identities. We celebrate their different perspectives, their different abilities. We believe that having diversity makes our co-op stronger. We continually work to foster a diverse, inclusive, and accessible environment where everyone is able to be their authentic selves. You see it from the products that we carry to the staff that we hire. We are embedded in very richly diverse neighborhoods. And so we aim to hire from the surrounding communities as much as possible and really reflect the wonderful communities that we are a part of. Next slide, please. We have quite a few openings. I listed all 3 on one page. So we have Selby, West 7th and East 7th Street. All 3 stores are hiring. I think it's pretty fair to say that at any point in time, we have openings, at least one opening in each location. And what also is exciting about some seasonal hiring as well. So get an idea of the list of current openings here. At Selby, we are looking for an operations manager, a grocery buyer, a web cart lead, which is a position that will support our curbside program. We have a curbside program currently at our East 7th Street store for those individuals who appreciate buying groceries online and having someone do their shopping and that convenience, especially during COVID. We are branching that out to the other 2 locations. So we are hiring a web cart lead for Selby as well as the West 7th Street location. We are hiring for store clerks at all 3 stores, and that's really where our seasonal hiring is as well. That's not necessarily reflected on here, but we're hiring part-time and some full-time store clerk roles. A store clerk is a cross-trained position. So in those roles, the individual would be able to work in any of the departments. They'd be trained to work in any of the departments, and the departments would include produce. We have a grocery department. We have a deli, a wellness department, and then a front-end department where the cashiering and the checkout is happening and some of the customer service questions might rise. So we are hiring seasonally for those. At our East 7th store, we're also hiring for a production assistant within the meat and seafood department. And at the West 7th Street store, again, we're hiring for store clerks, some ongoing, some seasonally, and then another web cart lead position to assist us with our curbside program. In terms of The full-time, part-time, we have a wide variety. I would say most of the positions right now are full-time, and full-time for us would be 30 or more hours on average a week. Next slide, please. In terms of shifts, the range would be, generally speaking, our store hours are, for Selby and West 7th, it's 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. East 7th Street store is 8 a.m. To 9 p.m. So just to give you an idea of the hours we're open, that could be the range of shifts. The latest that an individual would probably work at a store that closes at 9:30 would be 10. So we don't have overnights, and not very many early hours as well. Generally speaking, a starting shift is usually between 7:30 or 7 at the earliest first shift. What we're looking for in candidates and in our employees is customer service skills. And I know O'Reilly had mentioned this during their presentation, but that's really what sets us apart, is the experience that people have when they come to visit us. We offer fabulous products and a lot of unique products that you won't find other places, but we provide an experience when people come in. There's recommendations being made, people are getting samples. We're making sure that people all feel welcome, they get their questions answered, they find the products they're looking for, and they have a positive experience when they're with us. It is fast-paced, and there's a lot of things going on within the store, so we're looking for people that have the ability to prioritize and handle multiple demands. You might be stocking the shelves, and a customer might come up and ask you a question, or somebody might break a spaghetti jar and you might need to help clean it up. So there's lots of things always going on, so someone who can pivot with the different demands that are happening. Positive attitude, someone who's adaptable, flexible, wants to join and be a strong team player. The majority of our jobs, because they're retail, do require some weekend and evening hours, so just being aware of that. Most often our staff work at least one weekend shift. Next slide, please. Benefits. So we offer a really comprehensive benefits package. We have great full-time benefits, and we also have a great part-time benefits package. All of our positions, whether it's part-time or full-time for our entry level, start at $15 an hour, minimum starting wage. All of our positions, even including seasonal, will receive a 20% employee discount on most items in the store, which is huge. Groceries add up, and so it's really a huge employee benefit that we see utilized quite a bit. For our full-time positions, there's access to medical insurance, dental insurance, paid time off, earned sick and safe time, other voluntary benefits like life insurance, short-term disability, pet insurance. So there's quite a few benefits to go with the hourly rate. And like I said, even for part-time staff would be 29 hours or less a week. They're going to be looking at paid time off, earned sick and safe time, 20% discount, etc. Next slide, please. So the application process, what do you do to apply? All of our current openings are posted on our career site, so it's real time. So if you want to see the details on any of the jobs that I briefly mentioned, whether they're part-time, full-time, if there's a set schedule, what the benefits for that role would be, and more depth about the physical and working requirements, that's all very easily accessible on our website. So you can apply online at msmarket.coop/careers. Online applications are really nice because you can easily apply to a variety of positions. And then when you go back into the system to apply in the future, if you do, some of that information will already be there and auto-populate. And if you do apply online, you will receive auto confirmation if we got your application. You will also receive an alert if the application's incomplete, with a link to complete it. So that's a nice follow-up tool. We do also offer paper applications. Those can be requested at any of our customer service desks at all 3 stores. In terms of the experience, once you have applied, screening, some of the positions we do phone screens with and an in-person interview. Some positions may just go directly to an in-person interview with the hiring manager. It really varies depending upon the position. And then I saw some questions popping up on background check. Background checks really vary depending upon position, depending upon the access the role might have to monies, proprietary information, access to confidential information. For the entry-level positions, there is no background check requirement. We see that more frequently in some of the leadership roles and the administrative positions. So it's kind of a general answer to that background check question. It really does vary depending upon the position. If there is a background check required for a role, that will be listed on the posting as well. So candidates can see that there. Next slide, please. That's it. Thank you so much for being here today and listening to the information about who we are and what we have to offer. I'm happy to take any questions later on and at a later date if you kind of think through things and questions pop up at a later time. I've left my contact information. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you might have.
Amelia, I have a question.
Yes.
So are you telling me, okay, so your minimum entry-level wage is $15 an hour, correct?
Yes.
And if you're doing an entry-level job, there is no background check?
Not for any of our entry-level positions at this point in time, no.
Did you all hear that? You know, I'm just going to speak right now on behalf of the community that there's so many people that had made some mistakes previously in life and have been on the road of doing wonderful, pivotal things in their life, but yet that record's still there, and they're trying to get a job, and they're not able to get a job because of that thing that happened some time back. And so, to hear you say that you are giving $15 an hour minimum, and that an entry-level job with you, that you will not look at that. That's tremendous. I just want to say that. We'll
Thank
have
you.
some more questions for you coming forth, Amelia, at the end. We'll see you in a bit.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Our final and fourth presenter today is Sylvia Garcia. And Sylvia is the State Program Coordinator of the Minnesota Department of Transportation, otherwise known as MnDOT. And I heard, Sylvia, as you come on board, there you are, I heard that you have some too good to be true news about some trainings and stuff. So everyone listen to this, because it's one of those, you're not, no, that can't be right. That's not possible. Nobody does stuff like this. Right. Sylvia's got some news for you, so stay tuned, listen closely as Sylvia presents. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Well, good morning, and thank you again for having me. And as I wait for my presentation, here we go. There we are. Thank you again for having me, and welcome. And I'm really excited that you are interested in hearing about the MnDOT DEED Highway Heavy Construction Training and Placement Program. This initiative actually started many years ago, at least up to 15, 20 years ago, a partnership between MnDOT and DEED, the Department of Employment Economic Development, to be able to offer really great highway heavy construction training opportunities and placement for you. It is funded, the programs are funded from MnDOT in the sponsorship, of course, but DEED, my division, we oversee the project, we coordinate and deliver the outreach and the commitment in terms of recruitment. How long has this program been around? You heard me 15, 20 years, because we've had the initiative for that long partnership with 2 government agencies. But we're celebrating its 12th year this spring, coming up 2021, in terms of actual delivering the specific highway heavy construction training program. And as Eric had mentioned earlier, I do have some really exciting news. But before we go there, is in just a little bit of history, in preceding years, the program itself, we've had over 70% of our participants that graduated and secure employment. That is huge success for you as part of the community to have this opportunity. Our beginning wages for union affiliated highway heavy construction is currently over 24 hours in the metro area. And why I say metro area is we're also have the initiative of doing statewide outreach and recruitment for this opportunity of training. And that usually is a few dollars less in greater Minnesota. Next slide, please. How do you establish program eligibility? This is specifically that our initiative has been for many years that this is the opportunity if you fall from one of the, being a female or belong to ethnic minority group. You need to have a high school or GED, and you need to have a valid driver's license, a working vehicle, not just a car, but a working vehicle that will get you back and forth from job site. We also, part of the process that we do is we call it TAA, Training Aptitude Assessment. And that is an in-house, an hour and a half paper examination that we do that will have soft communication skills. The other section will be construction trade math, measurements, ratios, very, very basic in terms of understanding, especially if you're out there in the field and how does a yard looks like, you know, when you're building. Next, please, slide. What else should you know? Well, highway heavy construction training and job opportunity. This is the exciting news. Is for quite a few years, we've been doing the labor concrete work for 6 weeks training. And that is in the Twin Cities with a training facility vendor. And the really exciting news that we are working on delivering first time, sponsored by MnDOT, is a highway heavy equipment operator training. That is going to be 4-week training. And that will also be part of the spring training of 2021. The third one is the highway heavy construction carpentry pile driver. And that also is going to start this spring, maybe earlier in the summer. And that's going to be 4 or 5 week training as well. There are limited recipients that will be able to receive this training. We're only budgeted for some of those programs up to 25 and participants. The training sessions are very condensed and intense. And like I said earlier, it's 4 to 6 trainings. It depends on which the program you'll be selected or the one that you might be interested. And they will start again in the spring of 2021. Next slide, please. What do you receive? There's a lot you're going to be receiving for the opportunity for you to have those marketing tools literally in your resume to be able to have the opportunity to apply for the jobs in the highway heavy construction industry, and also the opportunity to be placed and to have the opportunity to retain those opportunities in the future years. Highway construction training certificate, it would depend on the 3 that I had mentioned earlier that you will be receiving the certificate. Either you'll receive the OSHA 30 or OSHA 10 federal safety certification, but we also engage not only hands-on working with the tools that you will be receiving and the PPE, but also the skills and the basic craft and how you're going to build the infrastructure of your communities. It could be from concrete to carpentry and equipment operations. We also have the opportunity to offer you is once you start looking into the financial end in planning, because as you know, these are seasonal jobs in the state of Minnesota. They normally start in April and they will end in October. So as you can see is you also need to plan ahead. You made all this hard work, labor, and now you have all this money, but how do you budget throughout the off season? And also your continuation to become, be part of the apprentice program with that specific trade. We are very, very fortunate that we're able to have a great partnership with major organizations to help you succeed, but also employers that are already at the table with us wanting to hire those individuals that go through our program for placement and retention. They're looking for that person that wants to be able to succeed with the trade. They want someone to be able to be the best apprentice to get to the end results of a journey level. And I will share a brief little story. When quite a few individuals, 4 seasons ago, they have started this journey in working in the highway heavy construction trade. And the end of this year, they will be receiving journey level. We're very, very excited for them to be able to see them go through the process. And the work itself, they're working 12 to 16 hours a day currently. And they were told they're gonna work through November. So you can imagine the income they're receiving and all the benefits they're receiving, but then again, they're gonna be off for a few months, and that's the opportunity to refocus and continue their training with the apprentice programs of the specific trade. Next slide, please. Now, did I tell you this training certification? All this that I've been talking to is free of charge to you. We are here. Next slide, please. I just want to say, do you see yourself in a well-paying construction job? And if you do, I have submitted the pre-application with Norma at Urban League, and she said she will be definitely conducting follow-ups. But we really encourage you to start the process now so that we're able to do some of the interviews, the screening that we need to do, accomplish, and the testing, the assessments, so that you know you're going to be ready for next spring, April of 2021. Next slide, please. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. You are the first to hear of the 2 additional training programs we're offering next spring of 2021. Here's my contact information, my remote business cell. It's in front of the screen here, and also my state email address if you want to connect with me. But I know Norma is really excited to share the application that she has it ready to go. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it over to Eric.
Hey, Sylvia, stay on. Listen, just want to clarify that this program is is it female focused or is it for all?
It is for women and minorities. Specifically, the initiative was established to make sure that the individuals that we serve in our communities have this opportunities with the training and the opportunity to be up in the front with the major employers that are hiring.
So when you say minorities, is it minority women or minority
Okay, and or,
and
and
or? Okay.
or, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to
Yes,
clarify
thank
that
you.
for our audience, that it is female focused, women focused. However,
Mhm.
minority focused community,
Male,
but in the minority sector, it is male and female.
correct.
Okay. And outstanding salaries once you are trained, and
Mhm,
training is no cost.
mhm.
That's why I said it was no good to be too good to be true.
Absolutely. And we definitely, there's a lot of details that we go into, so we encourage participants or future participants or your audience to give Norma or myself a call. We're here. It is exciting. The opportunities, a career pathway in the trades, great pay, you know, just great continuation of being part of the apprentice training program.
Perfect. I see that Norma has just put your her contact information in the chat box. Her name is Norma Miller, if you want to look under there. And then she's also put your email address, Sylvia Garcia, as well, if you want to take a part of that. I mean, why not? You know, if you've always wanted to be part of the trades and part of the industry of construction, et cetera, here's your opportunity, and they're going to train you, and then you're going to get a really good paying job and do perhaps the dream that you've been wanting to do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to have you stay on.
Sure.
At this time, we are going to bring all of our employers back for a sort of a roundtable panel discussion so that you can ask your questions. And I know many of you have been asking questions in the chat, so we're going to allow those questions to be answered. And at this time, you can certainly continue asking questions in chat. Our moderator, Ray, will ask those questions from the chat box. And then our moderator, Joffrey, for all of our Facebook Live that are watching this today live, will answer any questions that our Facebook viewers may have as well. So we've got Sylvia here, we've got Amelia, we've got Kurt and Rebecca on via telephone, and we've got Sally here as well. So here is your opportunity. These are the people that will open the door for you and give you an opportunity to present yourself. Here's your chance to talk to them. Many times as you go on these websites, you have no idea who these people are. You go in there, you see a name. Many times it's just the first initial, last name, and an @ sign with the company name. And they said, send us your resume. And then you never hear back, you never hear anything. Here are people, here are their faces, except for Kurt and Rebecca, you'll hear their voice. And they're here saying, we are the people that we want to know who you are. We want to talk to you. So here's your chance to talk to them. Ray, I'm going to open up your moderator box here, and you can go ahead and ask some questions, please.
Yes, Eric, we got several questions out of the chat box. First question, maybe first two for O'Reilly. There was a question about our part-time positions available for forklift operators. And also there was a question for O'Reilly regarding their hiring policy for people with backgrounds.
I'll let Rebecca speak to the background, but we do have full-time and part-time equipment operator positions available.
Hi, this is Rebecca. We also, let's see, as far as the background, that's more of a corporate decision, and I did message that person directly. It really depends on the time that's passed, what happened. So I'm sorry I don't have a direct answer for that, but I would say your best bet is to just apply. The worst we can do is say no.
Okay, thank you. And for MnDOT's question from the audience was regarding somewhat of a background type question, but how far back does MnDOT go to check DWIs?
We, for MnDOT, our training program for MnDOT ND training program in construction training is we're one of the programs that are very user-friendly for individuals that have background. If you had a DUI, we would have to have that discussion. As long as you had a valid driver's license, is actually the key for you to be accepted into the training program. We are not critical on your background. And having said that, though, is that we look mostly as in terms of what I had mentioned earlier, a valid driver's license. Are you able to drive? You know, pretty much that's what we're looking for. And the reason is because you got to get to work. And the construction sites are so spread away and you have to be there at 5 in the morning where there's no public transportation. So if you had a DUI, it doesn't matter to us as long as you have a current valid driver's license.
Okay, thank you. And for Sally, there was a question regarding available positions for project managers.
I just responded directly to, I believe it was Karen. We do not have an active project management position. We have several product manager roles right now, but it's very frequent that we see project management positions. It's part of our core skill set, depending on your area of expertise in that space.
Okay, thank you. And one more question for Sylvia with MnDOT. It's more of an education question. Do you have to have a GED? If you did not finish high school, is that a factor?
It is. Employers do want to have the individual have a high school or GED as a requirement. And this is a good time. If you do not have a GED, this will be a great time to connect with adult basic education or your local libraries to see how can you obtain that GED. And I believe currently there's 4 subjects. So please, I encourage you to do that. Accomplish that goal this winter, fall and winter. And always, please give me a call or email me or Norma if you need additional information where you can obtain your GED.
And one more question for you, Sylvia. Are there health or age requirements for construction trainees?
We do not. Of course, we do for this program, we do not ask how old you are, of course. And the other part of the question is you need to apply the pre-application that Norma has in her hands now. Fill up that 1-pager, send it to her or myself, and then what I do, I make that call to you personally, and then we can discuss the questions you have specifically to that program.
And can you repost your link, website link for MnDOT for people to apply for that program?
Sure, I will.
Eric, that's all I have at the moment.
All right, I see here too, I think somebody is really interested for Robert Half
Okay.
to get into one of those entry-level IT jobs. They've got background in CompTIA certification fundamentals as well as Cisco certification. So that person that wrote that, go ahead and the contact information for Sally is in the chat. Go ahead and show your interest, and I'm sure she'd be happy to speak with you regarding that. Also, it looks like, Ray, I think there's a question regarding an Egyptian degree. Do you see that in there?
Yeah, he was the one asking about the GED.
Okay.
For MnDOT.
All right, thank you. Keep your questions coming in. We still have some time. Joffrey and Facebook, what do you have?
Greetings. It looks like we have one question for O'Reilly's and the Mississippi market there. How long does it take for one to get hired?
We'll start with Mississippi market.
That's a great question. It kind of depends on how busy the hiring manager is, and being short-staffed, sometimes it can be a little bit trickier to get interviews scheduled, but we do try to move as quickly as possible. So I would say on average, maybe 2 weeks for an entry-level position.
Perfect. How about you, O'Reilly's?
Hi, this is Rebecca from O'Reilly's. So I would say it takes anywhere from, I mean, it really depends on how fast your background check and drug screen come back. We've had people interview on Monday and do orientation on Friday.
Wow. Wow, that's a big one. Wow. Monday, just think, next Monday, by next Friday, you could be working. That's amazing. And that's, I'm sure, each circumstance of how quick you get results back and such too. So great, thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Any
Definitely. I'd say on average about a week.
About a week. Okay. All righty. Mississippi Market, about 2 weeks, and O'Reilly's about a week.
I would, you know, like you said, it varies.
Yeah.
It depends. I would say once someone's in for interview, it could be a couple of days before there's a decision. And usually the start date after that's pretty soon. Just making sure that we're ready to onboard that person and have the support in place for training, for the on-the-job training that we do. I would say when you look at application to start date, probably possibly 2 weeks on average.
Okay, perfect. And you get 20% at your place. So as an employee, you still get 20% off of all those wonderful goods and a lot of vegan opportunities and vegetarian opportunities and a lot of fresh produce there at Mississippi Market. I feel like I'm giving a plug.
Yeah, go ahead. I love it. Yes, a lot of local support, a lot of, I think right now it's every dollar that's spent at the co-op, $1.60 goes back into the community.
That's excellent, excellent. Any other questions, Facebook?
No further questions via Facebook.
Yeah.
Eric, I have a couple more questions from the chat box for Sylvia. If somebody is already a carpenter journeyman, is that an advantage for them to get into that program, and is that a factor?
The best way I can answer that question is that this training program was developed to give opportunities for the communities that have never had the opportunity for this type of training. But please have that person either, you can call me or email me and we can have a further discussion on the topic.
Okay, and another question came in, what union is MnDOT?
MnDOT, we're government and we have so many unions affiliated within every state agency. For example, I'm a member of MAPE, so there's quite a few. So I'm not MnDOT itself or HR, so I won't be able to answer that question.
Okay, thank you. And for Robert Half, question came in regarding positions available in Minneapolis that are near public transportation. Are there positions like that in that category?
I would say many of our opportunities are accessible via public transportation. I believe our position in St. Paul should be on a bus route, but it's very common. Many of our current consultants utilize public transportation now. So yes, I would say it's very, very likely.
And Sylvia, someone else is asking, can you be a little more detailed? Can you provide more details about the highway heavy opportunities?
Oh, absolutely. Well, actually, I would, if it's okay, because of the time in here, this was just a very brief presentation. Usually my conversations with interested individuals or talking to our stakeholders takes longer than 15, 20 minutes for me to be going into details of specifics. So please call me and or email me. We can set up a time so we can further discuss the exciting 3 training programs.
Thank you.
Perfect. Keep those questions coming in. We still got a couple more minutes here. Sally, I want to ask you, what is the onboarding process for you? Because you are a staffing firm, agency. So is it required, and with COVID and everything going on, does a person have to come into your location? Is there some pre-test to take, or how does that work?
Yes, fortunately, we can do everything that we need to do through a medium just like this. We video chat with every candidate that we meet with. We have online evaluations that we can email to candidates. Many of our clients are also doing video chats for their screening process as well. Some of our clients will still want in person, and then really depending on everyone's comfort level, we're very sensitive, right, to the concerns that everyone might have about maybe working on site versus working remotely. So we try and provide options for both.
Oh, that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. How about you? Kurt and Rebecca, are you doing on-site interviews or are you doing virtual?
Yeah, we're doing on-site interviews. We're definitely open to virtual interviews, but for right now, we are doing on-site, obviously with social distancing, face masks, all the necessary precautions.
Okay. How about you, Amelia?
Yeah, we're doing in-person interviews with social distancing, face masks. We have a very stringent cleaning procedure and sanitization process in place. But because all of our positions are in the stores and customer facing, we are doing in-person interviews.
Okay. Sylvia, how about you? Are you doing your intakes with
Right now, we're doing a lot of the virtual right now to start the process, and we're hoping after the new year we will be able to have a protocol that will be able to do in-house assessments that is crucial to the acceptance of the program.
Okay. And then Sylvia too, what is the date of the cohort? When is that?
Okay, in terms of the programs, tentatively right now, we're looking for the highway heavy laborers, concrete, that will be the second week of April for 6 weeks. And then we're looking for highway heavy equipment operator, 4 weeks training. We're hoping it will overlap 1 week of our first training, which put us into Memorial Weekend or the last week of May for 4 weeks. And then the Carpentry highway heavy pile driver, we're tentatively looking in June.
In June. Okay, so it's coming up. And the way the months are going right now, this week will be the middle of the month already. So that will be here in no time. So, well, I just want to say thank you to all of you. I thank Amelia from Mississippi Market, Sylvia from MnDOT, Kurt and Rebecca from O'Reilly, and Sally from Robert Half for being with us today. Will you come back? We need you again to present to more wonderful people.
Please.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And thanks again. Their contact information is in the chat box. Go ahead and take a look at that. If you guys want to jump into the chat box, if there's some little last minute questions that you guys want to answer in your own, you certainly can do that. Our presenters as well. So thank you for your time. And we thank each and every one of our audience here. We are so excited. The Urban League, I just want to let you know a little bit about us. The Urban League Twin Cities has a vast array of services for you, and all of our services within our workforce solutions intersection, guess what? They are at no cost. That's right, no cost to you. Even attending all of our various classes within our IT Institute, you pay nothing at all, nothing. So I just sure hope that you chose, when you registered for this virtual job fair today, I hope you chose that box that said, I would like to meet with a job developer, or I would like a job developer to contact me. Because if you did that, you are going to be in connection with someone who's going to bring you along and show you all the opportunities and possibilities for you in your jobs, employment search, in your career training, skill training, and all the above. They want to help you with the services that we provide. However, if you did click no, or did not fill in the box, and you've changed your mind, just call our Urban League Twin Cities phone number, 612-302-3100. Again, that's 612-302-3100. And you will be connected with any one of our amazing job developers. Now, for our Facebook viewers, please go to our Facebook page under the contact area and call our office directly with the same request as well. And that phone number is the same, 612-302-3100. We are so excited also to invite you to our Real Talk Forum, which is every first Friday of the month. Our next one will be November 6th at 1:00 p.m. via Zoom, and they deal with issues that are really affecting the community right now. If you need to know how to get onto our Zoom platform or any other events that we have, always go to our Facebook page. We always advertise all of our events, our virtual job fairs. We have another one that will be coming up on November 10th, as well as our other forums that we do with our Real Talk. So it's all always going to be under our Facebook page, which is Urban League Twin Cities. Very, very easy to find. If you don't have a Facebook account and you still want to get information about who we are, feel free to go to our website, www.ultcmn.org, which stands for Urban League Twin Cities Minnesota.org. And you will also find the information for our sessions and all the important information that the Urban League would like to share with you. Again, I'm Eric Howell. On behalf of the Urban League Twin Cities, we wish you successful placement in employment. You have yourself a great day. Thank you.